Hello, this is Sharon Dave Ghost Hunting Theories, and today's Vlog Friday. I thought I would discuss other dimensions and the concept. The concept's a little hard for us to understand. And a lot of people will say, well, there can't possibly be other dimensions. There isn't interdimensional beings. There's nothing crossing back and forth. Poppycock. Here's how I will explain it to you. There was a time in our history when we had plague and people were dying right and left, and whole civilizations were saying, you know, maybe we don't have enough God, maybe this person's cursed, maybe it's because they were born on a full moon, or you know, whatever. They couldn't figure out why these people were dying. They didn't understand the concept of germs, or what we know as bacteria. When we eventually got microscopes, saw that there was bacteria, we discovered another universe we didn't know was there. It was there all the time. In fact, it was minuscule, and it was so minuscule, and yet it could kill us. And so it did have an effect on us in our realm. We went on to find other things like, you know, the atomic levels and subatomic and translating DNA. There's other universes we keep opening up that live with us all the time and affect us enormously. What would we be without DNA? You know, what would we be without atoms? They make us up. So what else makes us up that we don't know about? And here's an example. I was going through photos today. I had an old box of photos that were given to me from the family, and you know, having some wonderful memories, but also a really humbling thought. Okay, this is a photograph of me, all of 12 years old, I think. That photograph is a two-dimensional version of me. Of course, you know, the back side, the front side, it can be burned, but it looks like me. It has the appearance of me. It's a facsimile of me, but it's only two dimensions. It's lacking intelligence, it's lacking depth, it's lacking life. We have depth and dimension and life, this extra dimension. We are perhaps a facsimile of something that we are in another realm, and that would be what we tend to call the spiritual, because as physical beings we don't quite understand what is that other thing the other dimension has that we don't have, and what perspective does it give you that we don't have. And that would be more of a universal perspective, a perspective of everything being united, everything being interrelated. We're all connected, you know. And I know it sounds like a lot of woo-woo and things that, you know, gurus might teach you to meditate on, but truly, the concept of there being little tiny living organisms killing us would have sounded very hilarious to people in the Middle Ages. And yet to us, bacteria is it's such a part of our lives that pretty much every soap you buy now has antibacterial agents in it. Our cattle are being fed bacteria, antibacterial agents. So we understand and we revere that concept of something that, no, I can't see it with my eyes, but it affects me greatly. So we have to ask ourselves more about what in our universe is being affected by elements we haven't yet found. And the concept of another dimension is not so ludicrous when you consider that we go from, as I said, that two-dimensional photograph of me to the three-dimensional representation of me. I have more dynamics, I have intelligence, I have life, I have depth, I have a physicality, I have a biology that 2D version of me does not have. So what do I have in the next realm? What do beings from the other realm have that we don't have? And that photograph is in my environment, and it can't see me, but I can see it. So what is out there that sees us, but we can't see because we're missing that other dimension that's necessary to be complete? And think that all of us humans know on some very core level that we are not quite complete yet. This is a process going through physicality. So let's change some of our concepts about the other side. You don't have to have religion, and you don't have to have a God in it, like a heaven on a cloud. It doesn't have to have a place. Heaven is here, coexisting with us. And that's the really exciting part. That photograph may never be able to understand who I am. It lacks intelligence to understand or to perceive. And we lack that too, but we do upon occasion have some connections with the other side, and that might be in the aspects of psychic mediums and the like, interactions with ghosts. How can we prolong that? How can we have that depth of perception long enough to understand or integrate some of that other side? Now, people with near-death experiences experience that other side, and they come back absolutely, utterly, forever changed by the experience. It taught them a new perception of the universe that was exalting. And I can imagine if this two-dimensional photograph of me could come forward and be me for a day, it would have absolutely no point of reference for all these dynamics. There's senses now, there's smells, there's touch, there's wind, there's temperature, there's depth. I can move, I can talk, I can think, I can feel. You know, imagine what happens to us when we transform. So that's your thought for today.